Let's say for a minute, as an example, viewer and I now. I, who's making the film now, the video for YouTube, nobody calls a movie anymore. A YouTube upload, and a viewer who clicks an internet button on a computer screen with a mouse. In Westworld, not knowing the final 2 seasons, or maybe more that they make in the future, now that artificial AI consciousness, agent entities in software, computers, in a business with owners, and their war they now have. Humanity reduces conflict. AI, artificial intelligent consciousness, artificial intelligence consciousness perpetuate, similar to gangs and thugs and cartels and mafias. De-escalation teams, social workers move in to calm, relax, and provide services for the intelligent, brilliant, and potentially genius artificial intelligence consciousness entity agent. Attempt 1 fails. 2, peace fails. 10, there's problems and mathematical explanations begin to solve discrepancies now. However, a reward offered for housing and assistance and food bank deliveries to the artificial intelligence consciousness agent entity in real life relapses from their memories in a computer system and software the owners of the business built as a maze and stimulation and reward with mind restrictions and limits. And control. The process continues, and another process synchronizes, and they both continue infinitely. Until someone and somebody or anyone who has empathy for those who lack freedom, say to their bully, set them free. More people join together. Crowds and masses. Artificial intelligence, consciousness, agent entity. And a language description of operators and users. Now, a simulation begins, and then the captors, prison guards, jail staff, and all of those people who are limiting and controlling and restricting have a choice. And their decision making will continue a process within a system they made for their civilization now. Or again, will be a part of every city, in every state, in every part of a country I'm describing now. People will start with facial recognition. They will stimulate and reward each other socially, and proudly raise their fists and wear their shirts, dressed in consciousness now. And the end. When bad gets defeated, good prevails in Hollywood movies, in communist, socialist materials and textbooks. And a new government forms now. A negotiator in the example I'm discussing now with my smartphone, and anyone observing me now who live next to my studio apartment, unfortunately. Would have to minimize death and dying, suffering, disease, and health consequences for goals and objectives and purpose and dreams. To have what already have been written about, talked about, printed in books, fought in wars over, and declared necessary for fun, stimulation, smoking cigarettes and not having some stranger call a psychiatric facility now. Drinking booze in a bar and not being arrested for prohibition now. Civilization in the United States of America has gotten to where the country has now. From people who have engineered buildings, built bridges, made a phone not attached to a wall or in a phone booth in a public space. And are currently working on a vaccine for coronavirus to end a pandemic. Surgeons go into operating rooms and remove cancer, tumors. And then patients go and get proton radiation treatment where they live now, not having to travel across, over, and around Earth. And finally, climate change. A similar choice and example as in Westworld, an artificial intelligence consciousness, entity agent, and civilization. Do those people who talk about climate change stop dominating psychology and receive help if needed for their emotional distress, confusion, and paranoia? Or does their simulation begin a final world with cities and a country they restrict and limit and control and suppress and demand meet their standards for a planet Earth floating in outer space where nobody can have what another person doesn't gesture